taking for my neck injury. We've done the opioid game. We've played with the Percocets for my hurt ankle when I tore my Achilles a couple of years ago. But now, we've found that cannabis works in pain remedy and pain management. And sometimes it just gets you so fucking high that you forget about the pain. Similar to when you were eating those 50 milligram edibles with your COVID, I'm using Eden Extract's live rosin products for pain remedies in my neck and back, especially like before bedtime or when I get up and get going to do my yoga. I just hit that Eden extract a little bit, couple times, grip and rip, get myself right as rain. And then I'm ready to go, Chris. So before we get into the guest interview, I want to give you a quick heads up. I started a microdosing regimen today.
Oh, yeah?
Everyone's talking about being your best self as we get into autumn. And I feel the best way for my body to be optimized or, working in its optimal fashion is for me to be eating boomers on a daily basis.
I do it every now and then. Like, to be honest, like I've read a bunch of articles and things, and it's a good mood lift. And it also just kind of reinvigorates you. And, you aren't doing it to get fucked up. You're doing it just to get a little bit of momentum. And it's great. You're happy. You're focused. You can do work. It's great.
Yeah. And so obviously, for those that are listening outside of the Colorado area, psilocybin is legal in Denver proper. So I technically have resources where I'm able to get psilocybin without breaking the law and taking them in small dosages. But I'm also taking like an 11 compound supplement every morning as well. It's got lion's mane, fucking turkey neck, all of which are different strains, chakra, or, what is it? Reiki mushrooms as well. So there's a bunch of different ones, and it builds like immune health. It helps with like your digestive tract. It helps with the clarity as well. But yes, we do also have a little bit of that psilocybin we're adding in the morning as well. And I'm not doing this like raw dogging stems or like crunching them up or shit like that, putting it on peanut butter toast. There's an actual method to this madness that I'm trying out. And so specifically every day you take the medicine or you take the supplement, and then every 2 out of every 3 days, you take the psilocybin. So you don't actually take it every day. It lets your body and brain kind of find where that equilibrium sits when you are on it and off it to maintain that, that headspace or that state. But it also helps with digestive. It also helps with clarity. It also helps with my memory as someone who's just been parading around promoting his cannabis and drinking usage. This may help kind of combat with that. And so as the month goes on, this will be something I will be able to report back to. But I wanted to clear the air that, yes, technically I will be on mushrooms for the next 30 days.
Nice. I'm excited to check in with you and see what's up.
Yeah. Well, Chris, I was excited to check in with you today as well. We obviously have a full gamut of work week. It's your last week of your day job at this company before you go join the forces with the other one. So we're fucking stoked for you. We'll start having to record on Sundays so we don't take away from your work staff on Mondays. We'll start doing some Sunday fun day activities, a little red zone and a little recording, something like that.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
And we have a big guest joining us next week. We're going to have Lindell White joining us for lunch. We're going to do a little series. We'll talk football. He's got a new podcast called The Smash and Dash podcast with Chris Johnson, former teammates out of the Tennessee Titans. Lindell and I have been playing phone tag for a couple months, realistically, as we just kind of goof off and hang out. But now I was like, let's go do some content together. And he's like, well, I just launched my own thing too. So we'll just do a little cross promotional thing, have Lindell goof off with us. We'll talk football, talk training camp, talk goofy stuff like that. But then we'll dive into cannabis and all the other, dank eats around Denver. So we've got a gauntlet coming down the pike in the next week and a half.
I'm excited, and stay tuned for our gallivanting through Vail this weekend. It's going to be great.
So much fun. We got whiskey and wine tastings. We're going to do a lunch, a little sit down lunch with the ladies and some friends. Yes, we will still be psilocybin dosing on all of these days, as well as we'll have all of our cartridges on us as well. So look for us. We'll be dressed in the funky threads, patronizing people who think that wine is to be taken seriously and not fun, as well as make fun of the old birds that wear all their finest clothes to only get rained on this weekend. It's going to be awesome. I can't fucking wait. Let's go patronize.
Me either.
Yeah. But before we do that, Chris, let me go ahead and do the honors of introducing our guest of the day. She's a friend. She's a family, really. She's a 3-time guest of the podcast, and she has her own podcast that is Podcasts with Cassidy Eats. So check it out. Stay tuned. If you're looking for a better way to, live your life, Cassidy's got some great tips for that. So until next week, we'll say stay high, stay hungry.
Microdose.
Microdose. Cheers. Welcome back, fuckers. We're coming to you from on location today, but it's kind of weird. It's like playing a road game. Yeah. Like we're in another person's studio. It's like playing on the road. We had to get ready in our own locker room. They painted it pink to really fuck with our heads. It was a real mental battle here. But we're coming to you from the house/studio of our queen bee of Denver. We used to call her the Oprah of Denver. Now we'll just call her Cassidy Eats because she is her own. She's got her own fucking name and everything about it that associated. So no reason for metaphors. Cassidy, how are you today, sister?
I'm great. It is so great to have you. We just recorded a silly little random all over the place catch up on my podcast, Podcasts. So go check that out. But I'm great. He mentioned we're on location. You're in my closet. Like, this is my closet. You're the only person I've ever recorded in here with.
Well, I guess I feel honored, but to be honest, your closet's not like the ones you hide in. Like, you have these French doors here, or the farm doors here that open into another closet. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't go as far as to say as that. It's like if you had a son that you didn't like, that would be their room. That's where we are. And it's now your podcast studio and your closet, some of your closet, because I know you have fuck tons more clothes than this.
No, these are my only clothes.
Really? So you just filled one full room in French doors?
And in here is just like Kai's suits and like a couple jackets.
You got some 90s Bulls things over here.
I'm a 90s Chicago area girly.
Yeah, well, I mean, you came into our house last time and recorded with us a few months ago, right as you were kind of going off on your own. And so, I have now since been doing the same, and we're trying to figure out kind of how to make things, just flow. So we just wanted to catch up with you, see exactly how things are going. Obviously, we know you got the bustling dinner series. Your TikTok page is fucking taken off. You've got some dank-ass recipes that are fucking going viral. So we just wanted to come goof off, smoke some pot, see what you were up to.
It's been a great summer.
What have you been doing?
Well, I was trying to remember when I was on just a couple of months ago, and I was just ending. I think that was like the end.
Yeah, you could barely talk about it. You were kind of still like on your way out, maybe? I can't remember.
I don't remember, but my previous project ended where I was working as a behavior change coach, creating content live every week for the last 2 years. That ended. Now
you get to kind of goof off and do as you please.
And I kind of just, so many times I have had a job lined up before I quit the thing, and I always know what I'm doing next, and I never have any space or contrast in between the big projects that I'm working on. And this summer I really challenged myself to I live in Denver. My life is fucking amazing. I have a great house. I smell you know what I mean? Enjoy it and not be so worried and caught up in what I'm doing next, because I've just done so much work on myself, and as you know, we talk about it all the time. Quit my job, doing the thing, and I think about my younger self a lot. She would think my life was so fucking cool. So that's what I've been doing.
That's totally understandable.
Yeah.
Enjoying the summer to its fullest.
Exactly. And Kai's in school, my husband, so we're just kind of getting through that, and he'll be done in a couple of months already.
Damn, look at that. So y'all seem to be having pretty much the summer of champions.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Well, it's hot as fuck.
Yeah, here in Denver, it's a little bit rough. I'm not going to lie. But at the same time, it's fairly comfortable in the studio, so I'll allow that.
Yeah. I was worried it was going to get too hot in here, if I was being honest.
Yeah, well, it's perfect. You set a perfect mood for the podcast. See how I did that?
Nice.
To really reinforce it, yeah. So that's what we kind of wanted to talk about today. So you have a podcast that's taken off. It's a little bit more you and a little less of what you were doing in the previous structure, you know, so it's a little bit more authentic and goofing off. And so we wanted to come talk about it. So how's it been? You know, like kind of being able to goof off, smoke a little pot and talk with your community.
Well, it's a fun special gift. I will say doing solos is a new thing to get used to, because when you're talking to people, like, it's easy to feed off of their energy, but when you're by yourself in a room such as this, like, you're feeding off of your own energy. So you're trying to, you know, keep a conversation with yourself, more or less. So that's been an interesting practice. I just hit 70 episodes. I'm on like episode 73, I think, this week. And that's a big accomplishment. And you don't realize that when you don't have a podcast, but I started it in 2020, right when I quit my job, and I was like, I love talking to people on Instagram stories, and I knew that I just wanted to kind of like expand on things a little bit more. Also, stories expire, you know the deal. I didn't discover TikTok yet, obviously. It wasn't a thing, and so I just decided to launch it. And I think that another thing about launching a podcast is it takes you some time to find your show. I don't know if you would agree with me on that.
I would wholeheartedly, you know, as someone who started in sports and then found their way into this kind of niche. I do agree.
And it takes a while to find your show, and I feel like within this last year I've really found my show, and probably would agree with you that that last experience was
different,
distracting, just a little different. And what are you even doing?
I get messages and phone calls all the time.
You literally said to me, silence your phone.
Well, it's the watch. It's not the phone, so it's not my fault.
I love my podcasts. I actually have been given the advice that I should change the name because it's not very clear, but
I mean,
I don't care. Like, people ask me what I do for a living, and I'm curious what you say to this too, now that you do this full time.
I don't know what I say. I guess it depends. I usually tell people I smoke weed and eat food for a living, and people are like, no, you fucking don't.
I mean, you really do.
That's really what I do. So, I mean, there's obviously a bunch of other stuff that goes involved. But at the same time, I just break it down to the basic. Like, I don't, you know, that's it. Content creator is a little bit different because I don't think I do necessarily great content.
I mean, you're slinging those VOs lately. I'm loving every second of it.
Yeah, you know, we're trying to do what we can do to make sure that folks are, you know, seeing the cool shit that's going on in the community and things of that nature. So we try to make light of the situation as well. Life's a little too serious as is, so we try to have some fun with it. But, you know, we figure it out. I mean, you've kind of got your thumb on the pulse in that regard, though, huh? Like your TikTok, voiceover, giving us the tips of how to navigate social media. Any tips that you can give me today, as well as to the listeners, for somebody that's like, oh, I want to smoke pot and eat food, tell them what they should be doing, because you do the same thing, but better.
I'll never forget we used to go to dinner, so you'd be like, yeah, Cassidy, just tag me in whatever, and I'll post it. Like,
I mean, to be fair, that would probably still bode better for the restaurants in that aspect, because
I don't do this to everyone. I don't tell everyone and encourage everyone to put their shit on the internet, but I
be like, Kib, you definitely should get drunk and put your shit on the internet some more.
I have the gift of being your friend, and I get to know you in real life, and this, I mean, we're today sharing our conversations, but we hang out all the time and eat, and like what we're talking about and how we're hanging out today is pretty much normal.
Par for the course, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what the podcast is supposed to be about.
No, totally. And it's been awesome to see you grow, and I also am a viewer and consumer of social media. I'm on Instagram, and I'm like, oh, I wish he could do this. I want to see more of this. I want to know what's going on. He's so funny. LOLs. Like, you know.
That's oftentimes what I say as well.
Well, I have, like, if there is anyone in my life that I have great content and videos of, it's you.
Well, I mean, I do sing Mariah Carey poorly, off tune, and oftentimes drunk. So it's free content for everybody else. But for the sponsors, they get the luxury of doing
And on
that.
my podcast, we were talking about all the great things happening in Denver, the garden dinners, and all these different things. Not garden dinners. I just call them garden dinners.
They are. Well, I mean, Get Right is doing a dinner series in the
Because
backyard that we were talking about. So
one
that
of
is
my
great.
favorite memories with you is when we did that dinner at Uchi, I'm sorry, with Tommy Lee. You remember that?
That was with what's his name out of New Orleans is with us. This
Oh,
one.
I thought we